Today, I'm going to walk you through a Google search of a topic so that you can see how to evaluate some of your resources as you begin your search. But again, you have to read each source in depth to really discover whether or not the source is credible. So, when you need to conduct research online, first choose the search engine or database you want to conduct your research through. I would begin with Google unless otherwise instructed. Once you choose the search engine or database, you have to form a question or your search terms. So you have to already know what you're researching, and then you have to form that question and form those search terms. Today, the question I want to ask is organic food healthier than processed food? So I'm going to just start with that question. Is organic food healthier than processed food? The terms or the search results that come up are going to be based upon popularity, the number of sites that are linked to this, the number of views, different things. So, as you go through, you need to look at the names of the websites and notice that a lot of these websites have descriptions of what is listed there. So, that is a good way to start to see whether or not the site's going to be useful to you. So we have healthline.com. I'm a little suspicious of this because, again, it is a .com, which is a commercial website. It says organic food may contain more antioxidants and nutrients than regular food, although the evidence is mixed. Consuming organic food may also reduce your exposure to artificial chemicals, hormones, and antibiotic-resistant bacteria. So this does seem like it is logical information. It doesn't seem like it's an assumption based upon an opinion more so than it is facts. So this would be something that I would consider to use. So as I look through my other options, I would write down healthline.com, what is organic food as the title to know that this is a website that I could come back and look at. Scrolling down, we have mayoclinic.org. If you are aware of health organizations, then you know that the Mayo Clinic is a reputable research hospital. So this is one that I would consider using. So organic foods, are they safer? Are they more nutritious? That isn't necessarily telling us exactly the difference between organic or processed, but as we read through, it may tell us that. It says, understand the differences between organic foods, traditionally grown foods, and these standards regulate how such foods are grown, handled, and processed. So this is telling us how these organic foods are processed, not necessarily whether or not organic food is healthier than processed foods. But again, I would want to come back and look at this and read through it. Healthy Eating, sfgate.com is talking about diet and digestion. Health benefits of organic foods versus processed foods. As I'm looking through this, I would keep scrolling. That is not one that I would look at. It's a Healthy Eating. It's nothing that I've heard of before as a specific organization. And again, it's .com. Health.harvard.edu, organic food no more nutritious than conventionally grown food. I think that I would click on this just because it is a reputable source and look through to see if it's answering the question that I want to do or want to ask. Harvard, as an educational institution, does research, so this is a good chance that this would be beneficial and it would be considered scholarly. Helpguide.org. Anything can be asked at the helpguide.org. So maybe it's good information, probably not. So let's click on this just to see. Again, it's Help Guide. So I think I could come to Help Guide and ask any kind of information. Now, this information seems to just at first glance be beneficial. It's organized in a way that is easy to read. We need to see if it has any sources linked to this for us to know whether or not this is credible. It does give us the authors as someone with a PhD and someone who has a master's. So that is a good indicator. However, there is no links to other sources to back up this information. This is something that I would consider using, but I would also look at my other resources first. It's not necessarily discreditable based upon the authors, but at the same time, it's not something that I would look at seriously with the lack of linked resources. So let's go back. And let's look at the health.harvard.edu website. So this is something that has been published, so it's had to go through a publishing process because it says Harvard Health Publishing, and it's coming from the medical school. And organic food, no more nutritious than conventionally grown food. So we have a date in which this was written, we have an author, and we know that it's been edited. There are links to other websites that show us that their information is corroborated. It gives us a rationale as to why. And again, there are consistent links throughout the website showing us that other websites have been used, and then it gives us related posts. So this would be a good website to actually use as a resource and to find other resources as well. So this is one that I would use as long as it's answering the information that I need. So is this helping me come to a conclusion? You also have to ask yourself that. So now that I've looked through these websites and I've jotted down the ones that I think I may use, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do another search, because you cannot expect your first search result to give you all of the information that you would need. So at first I typed in the question that I'm asking. Now I'm going to eliminate some of the words and just say organic food healthier than processed food. And I'm going to start scrolling through to see what we have. We have the nutritive value and nutrients that are supposed to be found in organically produced foods are well preserved because of the absence of biochemical and heat processing. This makes organic food a bit healthier than processed food. This is a statement, and I feel like they could give us a little more information. We could look on that to see. It's Allied Academies. It's an organization, though, so anyone can register an organization online. Healthy Eating, sfgate.com. This is a website we saw in the last one, so it is clearly popular, but again, it is a commercialized website. Mayo Clinic, I would write this down again. It is popular within this search term, and we know the Mayo Clinic is reputable. Should you go organic? This is another website or another article from Harvard Health. I would write that one down as well. Healthline.com. I would not use this, even though it could be beneficial to help your understanding of it. Healthline could publish any website. GMO, Genetic Literacy Project.org. So this one is looking specifically at, well, it's an organization that is specifically looking at genetically modified foods, which is organic foods versus processed foods. So this would be one that I would look at. And conventional is another word for processed. So we have some credited authors. It gives us an overview at the top, and it has quite a few links associated here with this. So this is a website that I would consider using. It has some facts and statistics. And it has related and additional sources. So this would be a good one to look at that is not necessarily a .gov or a .edu website. So as you are going through and looking for articles, again, click on a website based upon the description that it gives you in the search engine. Then click on it to see if it's going to give you any additional sources or linked articles to back up the information. See if it's giving you facts rather than opinions. If it is leaning towards factual information that is backed up, chances are it's a good resource. So, in comparison to this one and the first website that I clicked on, I would use this one. And again, I would use the Harvard website as well. So just be aware of how to evaluate a resource. You would need to take more time to read these articles than what we're taking in this video, but this is a basis for how you would begin to evaluate websites.